almost every weekend I'm playing golf. And when I get done playing golf, I go into the clubhouse and I pitch. I bring business cards with me.
Throwing an event when you live in a place that you've lived in for a very, very long time, right, makes it so much easier.
It is a goal to make this bigger every single year, make it fun, make sure everyone's enjoying it, and raising the money.
You've had people now register online that you've never met or heard of, she's never spoken to, and then they just come and have the best time.
At the end of the day, we're making it bigger and better each year.
Welcome to this episode of Behind the Success. Today we are joined by the owner and founder of the Hyslop Drive for a Cure nonprofit. Thank you for joining us today, Chris.
Thank you.
We are excited to have you. Tell us a little bit about your tournament. Obviously, we helped put it together, but they don't want to hear it from me.
You're instrumental, so I wouldn't say that's a bad thing to hear from you. But yes, we are entering our 5th year of the Hyslop Drive for a Cure charity golf tournament, which will be taking place on October 30th this year, which is a Friday. Launched it 5 years ago with the help of my friend Layla here.
And I feel like we have to back up before they get into the nitty gritty. So how do we know each other? I feel like our viewers want some tea, some PST.
We met on a dating app back, oh boy, that was like 8 years ago. And
everybody today is from 8 years ago in my life.
Yeah,
this is weird.
Yeah, 2018 was instrumental, I guess. We met on the dating app and we went out for, I believe, like 6 months.
Something like that.
Yeah. And once we, maybe me, or determined we weren't going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, he
didn't propose, so I had to break up with him.
I didn't propose. I didn't get the ring, but I knew that you were going to be a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to remain friends, and here we are 8 years later, good friends and business partners.
So I want everyone to know, though, he catfished me. If I can find a photo from this time, I'll insert it because everybody likes some PST. He, right now, has short hair. All of his pictures look like this guy. However, about 2 weeks ago, he looked like the catfish version that I went on the first date with, which was, I call it Cowboy Surfer Jesus. I swear.
You got to explain a little bit of that. I think the Surfer Jesus, the cowboy part is a little bit of a wild card, how that came in.
Was there like cowboy boots or was it the jeans?
Hat.
Was there
I have
dinner?
a cowboy hat.
Oh, cowboy hat.
Yeah, I think it was the hat. I don't know. It was just like a whole vibe. And he was always wearing these shirts with mustaches and stuff on them.
Yes.
It was like a whole period of time.
I didn't know we were going that deep into it,
yeah.
but yes, I did not look, although to my defense,
He did warn me.
I did warn you and say that I have long hair now, so.
But I didn't expect it to be like long hair.
Yeah, it was
like
pretty
I thought
long.
a little bit longer than that,
Yeah.
like a little bit more of a coif, if you will.
Yeah.
So I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fairly long. But it was a good first date, I thought.
It was a great first
I
date.
didn't forget my wallet, as I've heard some people
Some horror
have
stories.
done.
So I had a podcast before, and I would go on all these dates, and then I would talk about all these dates, but everybody had a different name. So I told his story, and then he found the podcast and listened to it and was like, had heard some pre-date stories and some post-date stories. So
Can
there's
I
a
elaborate
benchmark.
on so your cousin had moved out and opened a gym.
Yeah, she moved from New York City.
Yep. And so you said, come on out. They're opening this gym. Come support.
He works out.
So I went out there
come
and met a friend of yours. I don't recall.
Lauren. Co-host the podcast.
Yes. And Lauren, you introduced me. And then somehow Lauren was like, oh, this is that guy?
This is the Leo.
And the Leo, that's right. The Leo. And I said, wait a second. What's the backstory here? And when I heard that you had conversation on a podcast, I immediately, on the way home, pulled it up on the car. I was like, I have to listen to what took place on this podcast. It wasn't bad. It was interesting.
Well, he also didn't have social media at this time in our lives. He was very anti-social media. Would not take a picture with a girl if he was dating them, including me. Just like not into any
Didn't
of
have
that stuff.
Instagram.
Did not have Instagram.
So Instagram is where we posted, obviously, all of our updates of like, hey, we have a new episode out. And this guy also double catfished me. You told me you were 35 on the app, and then he ended up being 47. So
I didn't
his
tell
nickname.
you. I told the app I was 35.
Okay.
That's
And
different.
then played it off until I put the like puzzle pieces of his life story together. I was like, wait, that means you went to ASU when you were 12. And he was like, oh yeah, about that.
You were very much the investigative reporter. You started asking without asking. You just were putting this puzzle together.
Well, you did. You looked 35, so like
Yeah.
that part checked out. But the story timeline, I was like, are you like a kid prodigy?
Probably would have been a better story too than just put a lower age on which
I cheated on the
again, to my
application.
defense, is not an unusual practice on dating apps, as I've discovered. Still being on them, that is a very common
years later,
practice.
he's still
Had we
available,
just
ladies.
gotten married, we could have solved the problem. But here he is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
ladies, download Hinge. But
Just
35
be
is
careful.
the age range.
Yeah, get the birth certificate up front.
So his nickname on the podcast, because every guy was renamed, was 47. Because at the time, you were 47.
Yep.
So your age is actually important here because it kind of brings us into understanding your golf tournament and the impetus of why all of a sudden you had this epiphany of, I need to do a golf tournament.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how did it come about?
So I was turning 50, in the summer of 2022, and I wanted to celebrate in some manner. Golf, as you both know, is a big part of my life. And so I have a very large circle of golfers that I am friends with, family. And so I wanted to do a big tournament. But the epiphany was I didn't want to do it just to celebrate my birthday in the very narcissistic manner. So I said I should do something that is charity related. And so the story is that back in 1999, I lost my father to prostate cancer after he battled for 2 years. And as you mentioned, the mustache shirts and the annual practice of growing my mustache out in November, every November, much to the chagrin of friends and family and ex-girlfriends.
But
Do not pull the mustache off well at all.
No, very rapey.
A lot of people don't, let's
sure.
be honest.
I would prefer ice cream truck driver or gas station attendant rather than the rapey part.
I know that's bad. I'm sorry.
But
People are
that's
going
all.
to cancel me.
That's all part of the Movember Foundation, which I had learned about in, I think, 08 or 09. I was living in San Diego, and I'd met these guys in a bar, and they had mustaches. This was well before it had become really trendy and popular, and
Yeah, before it was like such a global
hipster,
movement.
and yeah. And I asked them, I was like, "What's the deal? You all have stashes?" And they told me the story of Movember, and that served the exact purpose of why you grow the mustache out. Is you kick off a conversation about prostate cancer awareness. So I said, let's do it around prostate cancer. Let's do it in November. Even though my birthday was in July, let's do it in November.
July is just a really hot time in Phoenix to have a golf tournament.
it's
To do anything
brutal.
outside.
we wouldn't
Brutal.
get very many people willing
No,
to show up.
absolutely not. Well, and also a lot of people are out of town for summer
don't know anyone
vacations
who's
and stuff like
bothered.
that. Yeah. But I had never done it before. You at the time had done golf tournaments for some of your clients.
Some Major League Baseball players that
Yep.
were clients.
Yeah.
Before we were really more in this corporate world, we were on the nonprofit side of life. So.
Yes. And so I reached out to you. I said, I have this idea.
Okay,
and,
so-
and I wasn't sure, like,
The way he reached out is hilarious. It's like midnight. I'm in Dallas at our house in Dallas watching a TV show by myself. My husband's dad asleep in a different room. And then all of a sudden he's calling me and I'm like, okay, well, it's 2 hours like earlier for him. Let's see what's going on. So he's like, hey, I got this idea. And his friend's like, yeah, we've got this idea.
Boutros, the infamous Boutros. We might have
He's like-
had some bourbon like for the last 2 hours before I called you.
And they're so excited. They're like, how about a golf tournament? And I was like, oh, I think that's such a good idea. And then he was like, sobered up really quick. He's like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah, no, I think that's so smart. We could absolutely do that. And then the wheels start turning in my head. And then I'm, like I said, sober, bored at midnight watching a TV show. The next day I text Kendall and I was like, hey, I think we're going to do a golf tournament. And we had parted ways with our Major League Baseball clients. So we had been on a bit of a hiatus from the golf scene for a minute. And then the next day, I was like, okay, so let's talk about your golf tournament. And you were like, oh, yeah.
Because I went to bed and thought, well, that was a fun conversation, but I'm not really sure I'm going to do this. And you were kind of that catalyst. You're like, oh, let's talk about it. Let's do it. We're doing this. And
Let's set the date.
Let's set a date. And I said, all right, I have no idea how much this is going to entail, but if you guys are in it with me, I feel confident we'll pull it off. And
you hadn't really met Kendall.
no, I had not, because you scheduled a video call and you said, we're going to get on a call. I'm going to introduce you to Kendall, my director of operations, and she's going to be the main resource for you. And I said, all right. And I do remember, since we're doing a little reveal here, I do remember after the podcast, you said, Kendall said, wow, you're right. He is hot.
The only thing she remembers, you probably had short hair.
No,
she didn't meet Cowboy Surfer Jesus.
No, but it was a great call, because then, Kendall is such a
the most organized.
organized checklist. I have a feeling there's a ton of checklists you have at home for your husband and your kids, and just I was like, boom, boom,
It
boom.
lives on the fridge.
And I have that in me too. I mean, if you see my desk at my work desk at home, I'm a checklist guy. So I was like, oh yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to work.
And tell them about our background of like the chaos of planning Topgolf for Mom.
Oh God, Topgolf.
I mean, it was an amazing event, right? Like, we genuinely looked forward to it, but we didn't sleep for like the week prior.
No, we
to
had
the
so
event.
much stuff. So you have to get, with Topgolf, we had an auction, we had raffle items. So you've got to come up with, first off, who do you reach out to get items? Then you have to actually get them.
Build relationships
with
businesses.
these businesses, these vendors, and all these different companies. And then not only pray to Jesus that they're going to give you something, but they'll give you something of value, and they're going to give you something that your patrons want, that the people that are coming are going to find valuable.
But we were in a good position, because when you
People want
start
memorabilia.
shopping and saying, hey, these are two Major League Baseball players, one's with San Francisco, one's with the Mariners, and they lost their mom to Alzheimer's, they're like, oh my God, this is great. And then, ESPN's going to be there, and all the other TV channels are going to be there. And they're like, whatever you want. And we were getting crazy stuff donated because we were able to flex that card. So by the time it came to his tournament, we had all these relationships.
A lot of factors in place, which was helpful to being able to get a bunch of different items and knowing what businesses will give us big things, little things to kind of help piecemeal it.
Well, and they just trusted Kendall. They were like, okay, yeah, we know that she puts her stuff.
Do what we say.
It's a good brand placement for us. So that really helped when it came time for yours, because it wasn't starting from nowhere. It was starting from, you already have a whole database.
I wasn't a professional baseball player who had ESPN and all that.
By that point, they didn't care, because we'd already
we'd already established it, which was helpful, but that helped build that partnership to make it effective.
And then we are now able to get all the stuff that we were able to get for the Major League Baseball players for you, even though you are not a former pro athlete.
Right.
So that really was like so clutch that you're as organized as you are to have all of that just ready to
and that's why, I feel I have a big network, right? Whether it's friends, family, places I do business with, because that's another big thing is you think big, but also, I remember when Kendall was talking to me, she's like, go to your dentist, go to the place you get your car worked on, go to the place you get your hair cut, go to your gym,
Start
all
with
of that.
the easy ones.
Yeah,
they recognize your face, they know you.
Mm-hmm. And that gives it that really personalized touch.
Well, and you give your time and money and business to them.
Exactly. But that was one of the things that was eye-opening to me is, you have to lean on that network. You have to lean on your circles. But also, and I say this every year, we don't start working on this a month out or 2 months out.
It's a full year.
We start a month after the one just ended. It is a full year, because first of all, you have to constantly knock on these doors. You have to constantly remind them. And, you have now that we're in our fifth annual, you have that foundation, you have the base, but you want to keep growing it. You want to keep bringing in new sponsors. You want to keep finding new social media platforms to join, and all these other areas that you can help get eyes on, get visibility. I mean, one of the things I tell you guys this a lot. Almost every weekend I'm playing golf, And when I get done playing golf, I go into the clubhouse and I pitch. I bring business cards with me. I talk to the person sitting on my left or right, and I'm promoting it. And I'm trying to get new people and new companies and new sponsors. And that's what you have to do, because it is a goal to make this bigger every single year, make it fun, make sure everyone's enjoying it, and raising the money, getting more and more funds to support the organizations that my nonprofit supports around prostate cancer awareness.
The smartest entrepreneurs don't just create businesses, they create content that scales them. At PS Studios, we work with high-level entrepreneurs and creators across the country. Some fly in every month to shoot with us in sunny Scottsdale. Others send us their raw footage and we turn it into scroll-stopping, authority-building content. From filming to editing to distribution, we handle it all. Done for you. Turnkey content that grows your audience, elevates your brand, and keeps you top of mind. Leaders don't wait, they create. Schedule your call today.
And the other cool thing is Kendall has a huge network, and her network has shown up to be like evangelists of the entire tournament, and like just always out there, so excited. It's like their favorite golf tournament
They make
of the
custom
year.
polos.
Oh, just wait. I found a new
Crazy.
inspiration for this year. So I'm hopeful that one really pans out, because it'll be pretty epic.
Because you guys having like throwing an event when you live in a place that you've lived in for a very, very long time, right, makes it so much easier. Coming from DC, I'm like, my folks are not around here. I know a handful of people who golf, and then our Major League Baseball world was just like, oh yeah, well, every spring training team in town is going to show up to this event. Yeah. So we didn't really have to do any of the leaning on, right? We didn't have to, right. We of course invited our networks, and a lot of them did show up, but it wasn't as critical as doing something more grassroots of being like, hey, no, but now they've got such buy-in, and that's been super cool. But then I think the biggest piece of natural growth is that you've had people now register online that you've never met or heard of, she's never spoken to, and then
we've had sponsors, big sponsors come in that way. We have a sponsor right now who found us on Eventbrite,
which is amazing.
Yeah, and it's like you don't really think about that. It's the domino effect, right? It's the always be setting up more dominoes to join, and
the consistency. You're really good at taking everything and being so good at posting it. Mr. Anti-Social Media now has social media, and it's
beyond LinkedIn.
5 beautiful years of
I am
socials.
Still trying to learn. I actually sent a message to our good friend Linda. And I said, because I'm watching all this other content that gets posted. I'm like, that's cool. How do I do that? Yeah. How do I put a video of me talking over a story that I posted? And so I go, how do I do this? Like, teach me how to kind of elevate the impact of my content, because some of it's, everyone's like, like this whole thing I do now where I ask you to rate my outfit that I play golf in. I got a lot of positive comments on the green one.
I could have tripled down that one. I would have.
I had a lot of positive comments on the green one this past weekend, but
I like this one. Double thumbs up.
Well, of course. I mean,
it's
all
the little heart emojis will populate around.
And I got to show you something, because I may have found a really cool idea for the shirts or polos this year. Because as I was exchanging messages with you, Layla, the logo, if the audience doesn't know. This is actually taken from a photo of me. I was playing golf at Monarch Beach Resort down in Dana Point, Southern Cal, and they have a beautiful finish, or I don't know if it's one of the finishing holes, but it's a beautiful hole that is literally 10 yards from the ocean and the beach. And I just raised my putter up and took this photo. And then as we were launching, and your expertise in brand and the power of the brand and how do you really elevate that, I was like, well, I got this cool photo I think would look good. And then that became the logo.
We were able to then vectorize it, create a custom logo that then has lived on.
And now it's, there's apparel and there's other gear. When we get swag, people that donate swag, we get the logo on there. It's part of our, prizes to the golfers and stuff like that. And, talking about fun, one of the biggest joys I get, because it is a lot of work. You both know this. And if you've ever had a glimmer of an idea to hold a charity golf tournament, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I get so excited that week leading up. And that's the week I go do a lot of pickups, a lot of in-kind donations. And some of my friends that come out from out of town, from out of state, that support it are coming in town, and I'm getting excited for them. But at the end of the day, as we are finishing up the banquet, I have almost every single person come up and just say, and some of them are guys that also do charity golf tournaments or have been involved in them, and they just say, dude, this is by far the coolest one I play in throughout the year. It's the most fun. You guys know how to do it. The logistics are a big part of it. Don't trust the people at the golf course to absolutely be on point and know what they're doing.
They never know what
because
they're
doing. It's amazing that that's their job. And
For some of them, yeah.
And still
Yeah.
we come in.
The bar is low.
We come in and we're like, wait, you guys aren't doing this, and this. So that's
Because it was
another
on the
point.
itinerary provided to you a week ago.
Yes, the very extensive itinerary. But
Talk about some of the funny things that we do that are very unique, that are only custom to your tournament.
So if you're pondering whether or not you should sign up for this October 30 Jam Fest, we're going to tease you with some key things that you wouldn't want to miss.
yes, absolutely. First of all, DJ Ajaxx. You introduced me to DJ Ajaxx, and at first I was kind of like, I get it, but golf courses can be stuffy sometimes, and maybe there's houses around, because we set up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and
Early.
you're like, okay, is the DJ, are they going to shut that down? And
To be honest, this was like year 2. This was like my must-have. I was like, we're going to have a DJ. We're going to figure it out, and I'm putting him on because that's just what we're going to do.
well,
And
and
we gotta
if you
wake
think
everyone
about
up.
it changes the mood of people the moment
It changes the whole dynamic of the day.
Yeah.
Because this guy is spinning the tunes and everyone's having a blast. It elevates oh wow, we're gonna have fun today.
Yeah.
I have a lot of connections in time spent in the hospitality industry, and friends that I still have that donate beverages, that donate food, snacks. We have hole sponsors that come out and activate their hole through golf ball air cannons,
Longest
C2
drive.
Tactical with their
We've
little
got shooting
air
on
pistol shooting
on the tee
guns.
box.
We have
Little
someone
target practice.
We have someone that has become a big champion of the tournament, Andrew Eigner, who is a long drive champion. Like, he brings out his,
WWE
Muhammad
belt.
Ali WWE championship belt. And he is also someone who supports Movember and prostate cancer. And he not only does he make it fun, because this guy bombs these drives 450 yards, and if you hit it in a hole-in-one from where he drove it, you win a foursome to Pebble Beach. And our first year, someone won it. They holed out and won a trip to Pebble Beach for a foursome.
Which was super cool.
Which is a blast. But he also raises ancillary funds. He's out there hustling. He had a goal last year of $10,000 he wanted to raise on the hole, and he ended up at $17,000.
That's amazing.
And portion of that goes to his charity efforts, portion of it goes to ours. But things like that, and we have our friends from the
We've had
pool
beer
company,
pong,
the pool
we've had
company that
axe
come
throwing.
out, axe throwing, cigars they're handing out, little bourbon tasting, and so
You're not getting to the main event. Okay, we have a mustache contest.
we have a mustache contest.
Who else has a mustache contest?
Best and worst, and I'm a big fan of the worst because that's typically my category that I fall in. But some of these
But he
guys
will never win.
some of these guys that come out,
Yeah, you get a
get a
trophy.
mustache trophy. to
Trevor's
put on.
Liquor has really brought it out with the mustaches
Yeah.
year after year.
Yeah, I think
If you
they're
check out their
back-to-back winners,
humidors,
too.
their
Yeah.
trophies
Yes,
are
they
on display at different locations.
Yep,
Are we still doing best and worst dressed?
we could.
We
could
didn't
do
have
that.
one last year. Nobody was a real banger.
Yeah, we
know.
haven't.
We had the cute outfits, but nothing where we,
We
were
had
like
we had Eddie the first year with the absolute
hot
bright
pink. It was
pink.
Susan G. Komen.
Yes,
Crazy.
He it might have even classified as fuchsia. I think it was pretty
It was
bright.
insane.
But yeah, all of that, the great prizes they can win, the great banquet afterwards, it's a lot of fun, raffling off and some people, as we know, really get into raffles.
They do, Andrew.
Andrew gets into, he buys it. I don't know how that's a thing that he's a
in
big
it to
fan
win
of
it.
raffle tickets
But he
and raffle
wins,
prizes.
so hey, it works.
He wins. And then, depending on who I've partnered up that year with, this year is the Prostate Cancer Foundation, who I just literally found them online, just doing a search. And we had a conversation with them. They have been doing this since 1993, which is when the PCF was founded. And over that 33 years now, they have raised $1 billion towards cutting edge prostate cancer research through, I think it's like 2,600 plus grants.
Wow.
And the nice thing about them is not only what they're doing, but they have these connections. So when Kendall and I got on the phone with their like sports event marketing person, he said, well, we have a ecosystem of clinicians and physicians in the Phoenix area, and we will market through them to all of the people they've treated for prostate cancer. So that is exponentially going to help us grow, help us get more golfers out there and spread the word. And, we bring them up at the banquet to, give a little kind of 5 minutes. This is what we do. And so that's a fun and interesting thing too. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're making it bigger and better each year. And I think that's why people come. It's like that old shampoo commercial. They tell two people and then they tell two people.
Yeah.
And so the next thing you know, you've got, the max out that you could do is 144 golfers. And that's our goal this year. I think the highest we've been was 120.
Yeah, so we need 24
we need
more
24
folks.
more. And registration's
it's only 6
open.
foursomes, you guys. We can
Yes,
do this.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, who doesn't
So-
like to have fun? And also, a portion of every foursome that you register is tax deductible because you are a registered 501c3.
Yep.
So if you own a business, even if you're just a normal private citizen, that's all great things for your tax for tax time.
Yep.
But let's talk about, before we wrap this up, we're at the 5-year mark. We've got a new location. We've got lots of fun things going on. Talk to us about A, where we're doing it. B, if you've never golfed there, why it's so cool. And then what you're most excited about for this milestone moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And we held it at the same golf course the last 3 years, which was fine. It's a good spot. It's nice because you kind of get comfortable that they are ready for you. They know,
They know the whole
They know
gamut.
the whole game, and
Yeah.
they were accommodating with us in a few areas, mostly adult beverages. So, but when the 5th year is kind of one of those milestones, and I am a regular at the Biltmore Golf Club here in Phoenix. And about 2 years ago, they went through a massive renovation, which was necessary because the clubhouse was like 100 years old. They spent, I think, like $40 million into this beautiful pro shop, absolutely beautiful clubhouse with a massive, I think, 400-person ballroom with a bar inside. The other course was a tent outside, which is, a little rough. And
the food's incredible.
The food is incredible.
So good.
And I wanted people to have a change, right? They want something new as they come out year after year and an elevated experience. And so that was a big reason. And I know the people over there, like I said. It's funny, you brought up the hair. I was in there 2 weeks ago.
And then they didn't
And the
recognize
tournament
you.
director walked by me and I said, hey, how's it going? And he goes, hey. And I go, Chris, Drive for a Cure. I'm having my tournament. He goes, holy cow, man, I did not
Oh my God, I
recognize
didn't know that you were this
He goes,
attractive
what
under all
happened to you? He goes, I go, yeah, I cut the hair. He goes, wow, you look a lot younger too. So
I literally will tell him, and then now I've got Kendall on it and everybody else who will ever. You were at a charity event that we were the sponsors of a couple weeks ago, and I tell you that you're intentionally trying to be unattractive.
yes, which I never thought of, but
and
I guess
even men agree.
yes. I've
All the men
I've
there.
told that to several
All the
people.
women and all the men.
I said, I have a very candid friend that has told me I'm intentionally looking unattractive. So, So I know a lot of people there, and like I said, I go there.
Now they'll recognize you.
I go there and I spread the word. I think I was there on Sunday for a few hours, and I handed out about 10 business cards to people that were very like, yeah, let me know. I want to learn more about this. I really wanted to make it bigger and better than the 4 previous years, and so it's going to be really special. And I'm looking forward to hitting a milestone and raising funds more so than we've ever done.
Yeah.
And a big part of that's going to be through the sponsors. We have all of our sponsor packages out on driveforacure.com. Make sure it's Fore for the golf term Fore, driveforacure.com. What I'm really aiming for, and we haven't, we had it 2 years, I think, a title sponsor, a presenting sponsor. And that comes with a lot of benefits for you and your brand as a title sponsor. But again, it also helps us get to that level, that benchmark of more funds than we've ever done before. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. October 30th. It is a Friday. I know people are going to be in town, especially if you have kids, because the next day is Halloween. So you're going to have to take your kids trick-or-treating the next day. So no out-of-town trips at the Biltmore Golf Club in Phoenix. And it's going to be fantastic.
Okay, if people want to follow you and connect, where can they find you on the socials?
So at Drive for a Cure, again, Fore, Drive for a Cure on Instagram. I did launch Facebook. I'm still trying to figure it out. I was on Facebook for 2 years, from 2009 to 2011. But I think
Back when you needed the college email address.
So specific.
Because I remember I shut it down on New Year's Eve 2011 because I was like, I'm getting off this thing. So I'm trying to relearn it.
Oh boy.
But I did technically, I think, establish at Drive for a Cure as my Facebook page. I am on LinkedIn, just as Christopher Hyslop, my professional site. But even on LinkedIn, because I have, I think, well over 12,000 LinkedIn connections now. As you mentioned, every time we have a sponsor, every time we've got new content, I do pump it out on my LinkedIn account as well, because of all the business associates and things like that. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have any of the other. Yeah. I don't think I have any of the other X or TikTok or whatever the other ones are.
Yeah, there's so many. It's like social media fatigue.
And I definitely don't. I've already found myself watching way too many videos on Instagram that I'm like, I have to put it down. This is why I stayed off. That's how you reach out to me. And like I said, the website has really cool historical content you could see from videos and photos that we've done in the past, but also the link to the registration. And by the way, we talked about players, we've talked about sponsors, but volunteer. We have a lot of volunteers, a lot of the female community. I welcome female golfers, and we've had quite a few over the years, but it's prostate cancer, so typically what we're going to see is a lot of male golfers.
We're like 98% men. I think last year I doubled it to 2 women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of them, we had the one group that came in from Pine Top that had found me randomly. Remember, they came out, but she was such a sweetheart too, because this wasn't, a few months after my mom had passed. Mm-hmm. And we were on the hole with Corona tasting. And we were talking about it, and I said, we lost my mom earlier. And she's like, I need to give you a hug. And I was like, holy cow. Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of the women, a lot of the wives, a lot of the girlfriends come out, my sister and some of her friends, to volunteer. And they are as much a part of the success, because we need the volunteers, whether you're checking people in at registration, you're helping with the raffles, you're out on the activated tee boxes, or you're running my Instagram for the day, because
Thank you,
Linda
you
is
are the
amazing.
best.
I tell you, I'm sitting there because I don't play, as you know, the day of. I am hosting. I'm shaking hands and making sure that everyone's having a great time out there, mostly with my good friend, Chris Jenkins, who comes out every year from Charlotte to just ride in the cart with me.
And his daughter. Shout out to his daughter.
And Maddie, his daughter, comes out too. And I just look at my phone and it's just like all the posts that Linda's doing.
Linda nails it
and
day of.
yes, she does a fantastic job and volunteers her time to do that. So everybody the day of, and I get done. And as you guys know, that is when I celebrate. And I just am like, I feel like my tank is empty, but it's also filled up at the same, because I realized what a success it was. So yeah, it's a lot of fun that night as I celebrate with friends. The after party. Yes, exactly. So I'm looking forward to it this year. I'm already getting giddy, as you can tell. So
it's going to be great.
Yep.
All right. So if you are listening, you can tune out now. But if you're watching, we're going to do a little recap video from last year at the end of this. So if you're on Spotify, you will be able to see that video. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see that video. Actually, Apple now has video.
Yeah.
So you have another platform that she has to make sure everybody's stuff gets uploaded to. But if you're on like a ghetto platform like Amazon, you can just tune out now because you won't be able to see our video. So you should head over to a nicer platform. Anyways, thank you for joining us, Chris.
Thank you.
We look forward to October 30th. If you would like to register, all that information is in this description box below the episode on all platforms.